Most coaches or business owners spend 8 hours on a script, and then they end up with a video that 6 people watch. And the intro, you get massive drops at the start where you lose 50% of people in the opening 30 seconds, which causes your video to underperform. I run a YouTube script writing agency, and I've written scripts full time for the last 4 years with videos hitting hundreds of thousands of views like these videos right here. And I've noticed something over the years. If you're a business owner trying to use YouTube to get clients, not just views, then this is the video. Because today I'm showing you how to write an intro that holds viewers past the opening 30 seconds. I'll show you 3 of the most common hook openers that the biggest YouTubers use, and a handful of copywriting moves that make your intro feel irresistible. But before I show you any of the why behind writing a banger intro, let me show you what the finished thing looks like. So what I'm about to do used to take me 2 hours to write by hand, and I'm about to do it live in less than a minute. And so I opened up Claude right here, and I have a Claude skill built for writing intros. And so all I do is I paste in the title of the video and I hit enter. So there we go. We have the title right here. Hey Claude, write me an intro using the intro writer skill. So I hit enter and let's see what it does. And so within 30 seconds, I have 3 variations of full intros sitting there on my screen ready to film. And I can now go read through them, read the explanation for why they work, and then pick the ones I like best, tweak them a little bit, and the intro is good to go. That's it. That's literally my whole process now. And if you want access to this skill, plus all the other skills I use for writing YouTube scripts, then I put them all in one place. I have a link with this Google Doc, which has all the skills here for you to download. And it's what I currently use every single week to write YouTube scripts for my channel as well as clients. You can get it for free. Link is in the description. But writing an intro fast only works if you know the thing that kills most intros. So I will spend the rest of this video going over how to actually write a banger intro to begin with. I just want to start with a big mistake that ruins a lot of videos. And so quite a while back, I was trying to watch a video on YouTube. This was a few years at this point, and I got clickbaited super hard. And this taught me why most coaches on YouTube often destroy their videos in the intro. And so I was watching football highlights, and I can't remember the exact game, but I was trying to watch my team Newcastle in one of the highlights. And so I saw the video, and we were in, and this was for the Carabao Cup or something like that. It was one of those obscure cups. And so there weren't many official highlight videos. And then I clicked it, and the video took me to this guy's FIFA gameplay video. It wasn't the actual match. And so I got clickbaited, and within 4 seconds, I clicked off the video. Now, this is an extreme case where someone is deliberately clickbaiting you in the video, but I realize a lot of YouTubers kind of do the same mistake in their content. And a lot of the times, they don't really realize they're doing it. And so the first 5 seconds of your video have to deliver on your title and thumbnail. If they don't, then the viewer will leave before your intro even gets a chance to work. And so let's say you open your video. A lot of coaches might do something like, hey guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Before they say a single word about the topic, they might start talking about something random like their day or their routine, something irrelevant to the title of the video. And that could be a reason why in the opening 30 seconds of your video, you see a massive drop in your retention curve. But the destruction of your intro in the first 5 seconds is actually pretty easy to fix. And there's a 2-part checklist that you can run to make sure that your opening 10 seconds doesn't suck. And so I call this the VV framework. And so it's pretty simple. It's just visual and verbal. And so on the visual side of things, the first frame of your video needs to match with the thumbnail. And so to use this as an example, this video on bolognese, right? We can look at the thumbnail right here. It's a photo of bolognese. And so when I hover over the video, it's just playing the clip of the bolognese, right? So the opening frame of the video matches the thumbnail. Now on the verbal side, your opening line of the video must match with the title of the video. And so let's say your video is about 3 sales calls mistakes that destroy your close rate. Your opening line might be something like this. There are 3 specific mistakes that most coaches make on sales calls that are killing their close rate. That could be an idea for the opening line. And so that's the VV framework. And so let's dive a little deeper into the opening line of these videos. Because I've studied the first 30 seconds of hundreds of videos from the biggest YouTubers, and there are 3 opening lines that I've seen time and time again. And these are the ones that I reach for when writing hooks for myself as well as my clients. And so the first one is the question hook. And this is a relatable question that the viewer answers in their head before they decide if they want to stay and watch the video. And so an example might be something like this. If it's a video about writing YouTube scripts, you could say, are your viewers clicking off in the first few seconds, leaving retention curves that look like this? And then you show this retention curve dropping super hard on the screen. If your viewer watches the video and they have the same problem too, then they're going to answer in their head, yes, that's me, and now they're locked in to watch the video. The second type is the statement hook. And this is an outlandish claim or contrarian statement that challenges what the viewer already believes. And so if you make videos for people trying to grow on YouTube, and a lot of people think that YouTube Shorts is a good way to grow, you could say something like this. If you're posting YouTube Shorts, you might be killing your YouTube channel without realizing. And so anyone who posts shorts, they're going to keep watching because now they're scared that they're doing the wrong strategy. And then also people that hate on YouTube Shorts might watch it just to be proven right. And so you attract both sides of the spectrum. Now, the last one is the gamified hook. And this one's pretty fun to do. You basically give your viewer a mini game or like a mini challenge that pulls them into the video from the opening line. And so let's say you teach people about how to design thumbnails. You could do something like this. Take a look at these two thumbnails on the screen and tell me which one will have a higher CTR. And so the viewer now watches and there's two thumbnails. They're now guessing which thumbnail is better. And it just pulls them in. It's more engaging, and now they're more likely to watch because they're participating in the video. I like these a lot. They're a lot more creative and fun to do. And so out of these three, the question hook's probably the one that I default to the most. It's the easiest and the safest to do. But these three, you can't go wrong with these. Now, the opening line will lock your viewers in the first few seconds, but the next sentence decides whether they stay for the rest of the video. And most business owners skip this next part of the intro because they feel like they haven't earned this yet, but that could end up destroying your video. And this is the credibility line. Now, the first version of credibility is the authority bias. And so as an example, if you're an expert, you want to make sure to let them know that you are an expert. Anyone could whip up ChatGPT or Claude and write a YouTube script with the information being pretty accurate and pretty good. Information isn't the differentiator anymore. And so if you have a lot more experience and you've accomplished things, you want to let them know because that's really your only way to stand out nowadays. There's these faceless YouTube channels taking over with AI slop content. And so if you don't want to get buried, this is something you have to do. And so in my case, with writing YouTube scripts, I usually say some variation of this in my intro. I run a YouTube script writing agency. I've written scripts full-time for 4 years with videos hitting hundreds of thousands of views. I say some variation of this. I show screenshots on the screen. And I do this in every video, even if people have watched past videos and they've heard this before. Most people don't really mind, so don't worry about saying the same thing over and over again. Now, let's say you don't actually have authority. You're not an expert. You might just be starting your journey, and that's fine too. There's a second kind of credibility builder, and that is the input bias. And so this is what I did at the start when I was starting out because I wasn't really an expert. I've been making videos for a few years, but I couldn't use the credibility statements. What I did do, though, was I wrote lots of YouTube scripts. And so as an example, let's say you've written 151 YouTube scripts in 90 days or something like that. You would state that in the title. And this just shows that you've done volume at whatever you're talking about. Maybe you watched hundreds of YouTube videos and you notice a pattern. If you've watched hundreds of videos, you've probably noticed something that the average person doesn't know. And I like input bias a lot. It's a good way to show credibility. And so we've covered the hook and we've covered the credibility, but there's another 3-part system inside the intros that when you throw this in, you're able to take your intros to the next level. And I call this the gap bridge. And so every video you want to think of you taking your viewer from the current state to the desired state. But in this middle area, there's this bridge that they have to cross. And this is where the gap bridge comes into play. And so gap has 3 ingredients. The first one is gain. And this is what the viewer wants. This is the desired result. And so in this video, for example, we're teaching people how to write intros that have viewers watch past the opening 30 seconds. And so throwing in that detail will help accomplish the G in gap. That is the gain. This is the outcome that they're chasing. But going into A, and we have the audience. So here you have to make it clear who the specific viewer is that you're writing for. Now, sometimes you could just name them directly. So sometimes I say coaches and consultants or agency owners, business owners, like I name the people I'm talking to. But then sometimes you can just state the gain, and that sort of indirectly implies who you're writing for. If you're talking about how to get more views on YouTube, someone that's trying to get more views on YouTube will watch the video. And so the audience sort of figures it out themselves that they are the target person. Now, the last thing in gap is pain. And so just as people are trying to go towards something, they're also trying to run away from something. And actually, pain is a way bigger driver than gain when it comes to people. And let's say with the writing YouTube scripts example, pain that people might feel is spending 5 hours on a YouTube script and then getting 0 views on the video. And so you would state this in the intro as well. And so the gap framework works in every intro. But most of you aren't stuck with the intro, you're stuck with the rest of the script. And so that's why I built the YouTube script engine. Sometimes your scripts take hours to do and you get burnt out. And so I built a system that allows you to write YouTube scripts in under 60 minutes. And these are scripts that actually sound like you. I built a custom AI script writing system for my business inside of my own workspace, and it's trained on my niche and my voice. And all I do really is I brain dump for 10 minutes and then I come back to a finished script. And so I'm helping set these up for people. There's only 3 spots available, and we're going to be opening in May. And so if you're interested, then click the link in the description of this video and you can join the waitlist here. And so now that we're done with the gap framework, we have another thing that you can do to level up your intros, and this is called the open loop setup process. And it follows a 3-step process, which I'm going to run through right now. And so step 1 is the title and thumbnail audit. Step 2 is the question extract, and then step 3 is the answer pass. And I know these sound a bit confusing, so I'm just going to show you an example of the process. And so we have this video by Mark Tilbury right here. If you want to be rich, don't start a business. So let's run through this process. And so step 1 is just look at the title and thumbnail and look at the different elements inside. So we have some businesses here, which he doesn't want you to do. 9 to 5. You want to get rich, don't start a business. And so we've looked at the thumbnail and the title. Step 2 is to identify questions that you have in your head. And so let me think real quick. Some things you might be thinking. These are open loop questions. And one would be, so what do you do? Right? What do I actually do if it's not a business? Why should I not start a business? Is this thing easy to do? And so there's a few questions in my head. This then takes us to the 3rd step, which is to actually throw these into your setup lines. So let's just write out how this would happen in a script. And so I might say something like this. In this video, I'm going to be telling you what to actually do instead of starting a business. And I'll show you the entire step-by-step process to get this done super easily. And so if we break down this little snippet right here, right, we answer the what do you actually do bit right here. We answer the easy part, which is there's a step-by-step process laid out, how to actually do it. We didn't really do the why, but you get the point. I just kind of riffed this at the top of my head, but these would be lines that you would put in. You want to answer these open loops in your intro. So that's the setup, but we're not quite done yet. There's 3 more bonus copywriting layers that you can add into your scripts to make your scripts absolutely irresistible. And so let's just run through them. We got the common enemy. And so you don't always have to add these, but they're cool to make your script slightly better, give it that extra boost. And so common enemy works because people just like hating on things more than they like supporting something. It's just how people are. And so we're pretty tribal by nature. And something you can do is set up a common enemy that you rally your people against. And in this case, let's say you're helping people grow on YouTube. You could say the YouTube gurus, or you could say the algorithm. The YouTube algorithm has changed and it's destroying all the channels on YouTube. Like, this is one that has been happening a lot recently. Now, it doesn't have to be people. It could be ideas as well. And so AI slop content is taking over, right? This is just an idea that you hate on, that you rally your people against. Even a way of doing things. So retention editing. You don't like retention editing, and so you're going to rally your people against this idea. Retention editing is not the move. It's about writing better scripts. And so people that agree with your worldview, they're going to feel a bit more emotion in your content, and this helps with retention. Now, alongside the common enemy, you have qualification and disqualification. And so this just allows you to filter the right viewer. It pushes the wrong people away, and then the people that are the right fit lean in more. And so as an example, something like, if you're here for 10 pickup tactics to boost your click-through rate, this isn't for you. If you're trying to build a script writing system that gets you clients, keep watching. So you're disqualifying people that just want quick tips. They just want to boost their CTR. And you're actually trying to get people that want to build a proper system. And then the 3rd type of copywriting trick is the insider info. And so if you're someone that's in the know, people are going to trust the information more. And so sometimes you see videos of like X YouTube employee reveals something about the algorithm. Let me just find it real quick. But yeah, this guy right here, X YouTube employee reveals how to grow your YouTube channel. So he has credibility because he's someone that is an insider. He's worked for YouTube. So he probably has some knowledge behind the scenes. But there's another layer that you can add into your scripts. And these are what the top 1% of YouTubers use. And that is the NESB framework. And so there's 4 elements that they like to use. And that is new, easy, safe, big. Now, there's also the alter ego elements, which are only, anybody, predictable, and fast. And so for new, people like things that are new because there's a lot of information online. They want to be the first mover for whatever trendy thing comes out. And so you often see little keywords that say new in titles. So as you can see here, YouTube employee reveals new secrets for growing your channel. Only basically shows that you can only get this information here. Easy, people like things easy, so you often see words like easy or simple in titles. Anybody suggests that anybody can do this thing, so sometimes you see lines like, even a grandma could do this, even a 4-year-old could do this. With safe and predictable, people want to know that this thing isn't going to go away in a few months. So sometimes you see something like how to consistently get XYZ result every single month. That shows that it's safe and predictable. Sometimes they even say the step-by-step system, which means it's a predictable process that you can repeat. And then lastly, big and fast. And so just looking through titles, I can guarantee, like here, huge update. It's big. Fast. I got monetized as fast as I could. And so once you see these words here, you're going to never unsee them in titles on YouTube. It's just everywhere. And just to show an example of a line, let's say you have this right here. Here's a simple 7-step system you can use to make your first $1,000 from sports betting in 30 days, even if you're kind of stupid. So let's just break down the elements real quick. Simple right here shows that it's easy. 7-step system shows that it's predictable. First $1,000 is a big result. In 30 days shows that they can get it done fast. And then even if you're kind of stupid shows that anybody could do it. Just in this one sentence right here, you have 5 of the NESB elements running. So now that you know how to write an intro that holds viewers past the first 30 seconds, the next problem is writing the rest of the script without it taking you 8 hours to do. So watch this video next to see a full walkthrough of how I write YouTube scripts in under an hour from start to finish. I'll put it up on the screen for you to watch next. Just click it right here.